ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् From 34 अथ ते संप्रवक्ष्यामि अथ ते. We'll chant about 4 plus 1 shlokas today. 34 अथ ते संप्रवक्ष्यामि
अथ ते संप्रवक्ष्यामि
स्वरूपं परमात्मनः
सर्वं परमात्मनः
यद्विज्ञाय नरो बन्धात्
यद्विज्ञाय नरो बन्धान्
मुक्तः कैवल्यमश्नुते
मुक्तः कैवल्यमश्नुते
अस्ति कश्चित् स्वयं नित्यम्
अस्ति कश्चित् स्वयं नित्यम्
अहं प्रत्ययलम्बनः
अहं प्रत्ययलम्भनः
अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सन्
अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सन्
पञ्चकोशविलक्षणः
पञ्चकोशविलक्षणः
यो विजानाति सकलम्
यो विजानाति सकलम्
जाग्रत्स्वप्नसुषुप्तिषु
जाग्रत्स्वप्नसुषुप्तिषु
बुद्धितद्वृत्तिसद्भावम्
वृद्धितद्वृत्तिसद्भावम्
अभावमहमित्ययम्
अभावमहमित्ययम्
यः पश्यति स्वयं सर्वम्
यपश्यति स्वयं सर्वम्
यं न पश्यति कश्चन
यं न पश्यति कश्चन
यश्चेतयति बुद्ध्यादि
यश्चेतयति बुद्ध्यादि
न तद्यं चेतयत्ययम्
न तद्यं चेतयत्ययम्
प्रकृतिविकृतिभिन्नः
प्रकृतिविकृतिभिन्नः
शुद्धबोधस्वभावः
शुद्धबोधस्वभावः
सदसदिदमशेषम्
तदसद् इदमशेषम्
भासयन्निर्विशेषः
भासयन्निर्विशेषः
विलसति परमात्मा
विलसति परमात्मा
जाग्रदादिष्ववस्थासु
जाग्रदादिष्वस्थासु
अहमहमिति साक्षात्
अहमहमिति साक्षात्
साक्षिरूपेण बुद्धेः
साक्षिरूपेण बुद्धेः
Once again, Prakriti Vikriti Bhinna Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha
प्रकृतिविकृतिभिन्नः शुद्धबोधस्वभावः
Sadasabidamashesham Bhasayan Nirvisheshaha
तदसदिदम् अशेषं भासयन् निर्विशेषः
Vilasati Paramatma Jagradadishvavasthasu
विलसति परमात्मा जाग्रदादिष्वस्थासु
Ahamaham साक्षात् साक्षिरूपेण बुद्धेः
अहमहमिति साक्षात् साक्षिरूपेण बुद्धेः
So the shlokas we chanted just now from Athate till Prakriti Vikriti Bhinnaha, they represent the section of this Smriti Granthaha, of this Smriti Grantha Vivekachoodamani, which talks about Atma, representing the one of the questions asked by the student. Okay? So if you go back to shloka number 25 of the abridged version, you should see that shloka. Ko nama bantaha. Both memorizing. Ko nama bantaha katamesha agataha. Katham pratisthasya katham vimokshaha. Kaha asau anatma paramah ka atma. Tayor vivekah katham etaduchyatam. So, fifth question. Kaha asau anatma. Then sixth question was paramah ka atma. So Kaha asau anatma was the one that Shankara addressed first. So you can see this is a systematic analysis which was presented through the words of the student and then elaborated upon by the person who plays the role of a guru in this text. And so, having talked about anatma, and what is new about anatma? What is new about anatma is I know that the whole world is anatma, not me. That much I know. But there is a small part that I don't know that becomes the important part. And the important part is what? That this body, there is confusion, body confusion. And so, whether I am the body or I am not the body is the question. Well, in Vyavahara, in transaction, in Laukika Avastha, I am the body. That is fine. That is fine. I am the body. Because body goes along with me and everybody I associate with the body and everybody accepts that it's normal, quote unquote normal. That is fine. But to understand that there is something beyond the Vyavahara is the crux of the whole Vedanta Shastram. And so that was indicated by saying, no, the body also is an Atma, Stula Shariram, then Sukshma Shariram, then there is Karana Shariram, then who am I? That is Atma section here, these five shlokas that talks about the one who is different from all these three, which was talked about in the 35th shloka. Asti kaschit swayam nityam. Yeah, kaschit asti. There is something that is there. Swayam nityam. Everything is anityam that we have figured out. Anityam means impermanent. They say life is impermanent, world is impermanent. One boy told me that we believe that the world is going to end in 50 years. That is the kind of insecurity that is there among youth. I was shocked when I heard that. And so, Nitya, very easy to figure that out. And but he says, Asti Kachit Swayam Nityam. There is something Nityam. And Aham Pratyaya Lambanaha Avastatre Sakshi San Panchakosha Vilakshanaha. Yeah, something different. I talked about Anatma before. Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karna Shariram. And he did not use the word. He could have said Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha. He could have said. I told you about Anatma by telling you what is Sukshma Shariram, Stula Shariram, etc. Atma is different from those, he could have said. Tattvapadakara says that. Right? When we studied Tattvapada. But here he uses the word Panchakosha Vilakshana. Panchakosha is of another way of understanding this complex, this body mind sense complex. We saw all of that. So now, having talked about Yaf Pashyati Swayam Sarvam, Yamna Pashyati Kaschana. So this Atma has to be understood properly. It is a gradual process of understanding. And he introduced this idea that Atma is the ultimate observer of everything, but Atma cannot be objectified. That idea was introduced there. And that which makes the whole body conscious. Okay. But that by itself is conscious, that which does not require any external activating agent. So last time. So now, and then after that, we saw a couple of shlokas from the unabridged original version. And we have that here. So Sannidhi Matrena, that shloka was there. So like that we saw Pratibodha Matram, that was another shloka. So important words we saw. That which is which by its mere presence, Sannidhi Matrena. Mere presence makes everything happen. Very difficult to believe it initially. Okay? And so, Sannidhi Matrena we saw. And in the shloka after that, we saw Pratibodha Matra. Vibodha Matra means Atma can be recognized in every thought. Means even in every thought, which comes and goes just like that. There also, without Atma, it is not possible. Every thought is born in Atma, it is sustained in Atma and resolves in Atma. Pratibodha Matra. Okay. So, now he is going to continue the discussion in this shloka. So, pretty long, shloka and words which are going up and down. And so here you can underline the words in the second half. Vilasati Paramatma. That is the main sentence. Paramatma Vilasati. Vilasati is a verb. Vilasati. Paramatma Vilasati. So far he used the word Atma. Okay. And Ayam, he said in the last two shlokas, Chetayati Ayam. Ayam Atma, we said within brackets, right? And here the word Paramatma is used instead of Atma. Paramatma Vilasati. 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 Shines. Shines. As I was thinking about this word, I suddenly got a bright idea. You have to validate this idea. In English, there is a word called luster. Lustre, luster, or luster, they say. Luster, luster. I was thinking, my God, is there a connection between that lust in English and the lust in Sanskrit? And the lust in Sanskrit means luster only. Luster means brilliance, shining. Something that's, they say, your face is so lustrous. Means your face is bright. It's always good to look at a bright face. And so there is a big connection there. So I think it's not a random connection. There is a derivation between that English word and Sanskrit plus. So this Velasati means shines. Paramatma shines. That is the main meaning there. And so Swamiji here, Sringeri Swamiji says, Prakashate. Prakashate. Just like Surya Prakashate, Paramatma Prakashate shines. And question is, what kind of shining this is? I understand shining only in terms of light. There is either a small dim light, like a night light, and then there is a 40-watt bulb. Those days we used to have, then 60-watt bulb, and then beyond that a little more, 100-watt bulb, and bright light used to be there. These days you don't see, you see bulbs, but they are of a different type of bulb, and their wattage is significantly reduced. Same brilliance, it's only 8 watts, 9 watts, 10 watts, 12 is unbelievable. The wattage has dropped so much. Okay. And so that is the only type of brilliance I know. I don't know of any other brilliance. Okay, this metaphorical brilliance is also there. Your face is shining. It's what? You look happy and you look uh, really, a lot of good things are implied by the word face is shining. That is a metaphorical shining. But this Atma Velasati does not come under that category. That category it can't come because it is not an object. If it is an object like sun, you can say shining, you can appreciate it. But this Atma, first of all, you can't even see it. Yaha pashyati, yamna pashyati. That which sees, that which cannot be seen also. That which cannot be seen, then how can you see the shining of that? It's not possible. Right? You can't see it, first of all. There is a question of seeing the things that it has. It's not possible. Okay? And so, that is why here, earlier he said, Pratibodha Viditam, Pratibodha Matra. And in every thought, Atma is to be recognized. Without Atma, no thought is possible. Without Atma, no function is possible. Okay? Atma is that which sustains every function, like that he introduced. Now, here, he is going to say, Aham, Aham, iti. Can you tell me what do you mean by Atma is shining? Yes, I'll tell you what it is. He's saying, Aham, Aham, iti. Sakshat, Sakshi Rupena Buddhehe. Aham, Aham, iti. So, it is a typical day. So much activity happens. So much activity happens. And by the time the end of the day comes, you just sign off and plan for tomorrow, plan for the next week, plan for the next year. You've done all that, and then you're ready to sign off. And then get up, then sign on, and then resume the day. All activities are happening. And of course, I am very much involved. I'm the one who's engaging with my family members. I'm engaging with all the people around me, and the milkman is coming. The gas person yesterday, the gas person came, delivered the gas and went, and all these things. Lot of engagement in America. Engagement is reduced in all these small aspects. Nobody delivers milk, and maybe some places in America they do, but all that happens. Engagement starts right in the morning and then immediately work and school and employment and this and that, business and so forth. It happens. There is something basic to all this engagement. Basic. What is basic? A. It is taken for granted. The basic idea is taken for granted. The basic idea is what? Aham, I. I must exist. It's very obvious, taken for granted. You must exist. They must exist. Everybody must exist. Only then we can engage. Then I can go to the store and buy something. He exists, I exist, everybody exists. It's okay. That is the key. Aham iti. I exist. Their existence must be granted. Once the existence is granted, then like the kids run around and play like that, we just go and start our game every day. In that matter, we are not different from the children. The children also, at least they are happily playing, and we are playing also. Sometimes happy, sometimes not so happy. Children lose themselves. They are not, as food is involved, they have to come home. That's how we used to play those days. And we never used to be at home. These days, it's a little more controlled, I suppose. Because fewer open spaces are there. And so on. Traffic, increased pollution. So constrained. So that engagement, like Shakaracharya is saying, aham iti. Please keep in mind that that I thought, but all I want to use the word thought. There are a lot of thoughts going on. I got up, I had to clean up everything and I had to set up the house a little bit to maybe drink some coffee or whatever. And so many thoughts are going on, but fundamental, underlying all those activities and thoughts is the minute I wake up from Sushupti, let's say Sushupti, minute I wake up, I I am aware of myself. I become aware of myself. That is the I thought. I I exist and I know who I am. Now I know who I am. I have to shake myself up a little bit and a little groggy here and there, but I have to get up. That I has started. This is what he's saying here. Aham iti. That I thought never goes at all. Every thought comes and goes. Morning I had the coffee thought. Right now at this moment I don't have coffee or tea thought. Because I am focused on the class. I don't have many thoughts right now. My vehicle is there. Okay, now I got thought of it. Until now I didn't think of it. So many thoughts are not there right now. But the I thought persists, unknowing to us. That is what Shankaracharya is indicating. Aham iti. And that is how it shines. Atma's shining is that. Aham iti. It makes its presence felt, as it were. Aham iti. And he's going to tell us a little more about this aham, self-awareness, if you want to call it self-awareness. I'm aware of myself. That is the aham vritti. In Sanskrit, we call it aham vritti. Vritti means thought, form, a mental modification, they say. Call it thought. Thought is fine. But this aham vritti is so subtle, even subtler than every other thought. Every other thought I am aware of. But this aham vritti I am not even aware of. Because I don't, unless I think of myself, means what? I have to think about what dress I should wear now. Fish. So I'm suddenly aware of myself, but there I'm only aware of my body and something else related to the body. Or I may be aware of my thoughts, emotions. Disturbing. This idea is very disturbing. That person is disturbing. That relationship is very strained. All these ideas I can have. I'm aware of all those things. But I never, I never call out that aham, yeah, nobody calls out. Shankaracharya calls out. The Shastra calls out. Aham. There is an I thought underlying all of this, and that self awareness is always there. It underlies every thought and every interaction. That is why you can say, I have the thought. I am sad. I am elated. Now, I am elated. That means I must be there. Elation is also there. I is also there. That's why you use the word I. Just now you said I. I am excited. Today morning I feel refreshed. I feel refreshed. I is there. Refreshment feeling is there. I also is there. That is the taken for granted I. Okay. And so, Atma, everything becomes evident to Atma, self evident. Another word you can use. Vilasati shines. Yeah, I said shines. Another word is self evident. Self evident means what? Means without requiring another pramanam, I shines. Yeah, without requiring another pramanam. For every object in this world, I have to operate a pramanam. I have to operate my eyes to see objects. I have to hear. Only then I know the existence of the bird out there. Otherwise, I won't. Otherwise, I won't. Like that, these five sense organs are there, five pramanams are there. And I have to use them in order to conclude the existence of something in this universe, something around me. Body also very interesting. Suppose I ask you, do you need to use your pancha pramanani to infer, figure out the existence of the body? That's a trick question, right? Well, close your eyes and say, does your body exist? Means what? Yeah, I know the body exists. How do you know the body exists? How do you know? Question can be should be asked. How do you know? Sometimes what happens when you're doing dhyanam, you will not know that your body exists. Means the existence of the body you are always aware of when you're awake. When you're awake, you're aware of it. Just like I'm aware of everything else in this room. Like that, I'm aware of the body also. But it's possible to be not aware of the body also. Like in sleep, for sure, not aware of the body. Like in dream, also not aware of the body. Dream because dream world is different. In the dream world, I'm not aware of this body. I have a different body in the dream. Therefore, body also requires something to become aware of. What something? I have to be awake. My sense organs are operating. And so I am, even though I don't literally have to see my body in order to be aware of the body, I have now become aware. Body must be there. Body is there. But Atma is not like that. By asking the simple question, do I exist? That question is enough. Figure out if Atma is self existing or not. Closing my eyes, I exist. Opening my eyes, I exist. The only time when you can say, I'm not sure if I exist, is when I'm asleep. Okay, that's acceptable because mind is not operating in deep sleep. Therefore, the idea of I exist, I don't exist doesn't arise during deep sleep. But I do wake up and say I had a disturbed sleep or I slept well. How do you say I slept well? I must have existed to say I slept well. This is only proof of I's existence. And so that existence is what he's calling aham iti. And he's using another word. Sakshi rupena aham iti. The Shankaracharya is using the word aham two times. Aham. It is like the classical music concert is going on and and Aga Malcolm's Sindolam is being played by the singer and Patapi Hamsadvani is being played. Okay, and then guess what? He stops. Then the tabla continues. Tabla stops. Then the violin is playing. Guess what? There is somebody behind the vocalist, and constantly doing this. Swara. Mm, that. It's constant. It has to be happen. These days they have a machine and they adjust the machine like this. And it has a few buttons, scale to set the scale because the Shruti of the singer has to match, and so they keep it so that they know how to modulate their voice, and that Shruti constantly happens. That Shruti is aham, aham, aham is there. Shankaracharya is giving us an insight to that, to how it works. Aham, aham iti. Which is Swamiji's joke. I don't know. You must have picked it up because this guy was asked, "Do you exist? Do you exist?" And this man told Swamiji, "Swamiji, my wife and I, we together in everything. We decide jointly. We decide what to do, what not to do. Everything we decide together on. So I have to let me check with my wife and get back to you. Get back to you about what? Do you exist?" Because we are together. We decide everything together. Okay. I don't do anything without consulting her. She does not do anything without consulting. So what should you do? I will consult her and tell you whether I exist or not. Okay, that is Swamiji's once he said. In this case, there is no consultation required. And even wife cannot tell you whether you exist or not. You have to tell whether you exist or not. Wife would tell he's all over. Means all over means he is there where he should not be there also. So like that she might complain. But then Sakshi Rupe, nah, Sakshi Rupe. And that word Sakshi Shankaracharya introduced, which was already introduced where Shloka number 35, Asti kaschit swayam nityam aham pratyaya lambanaha avastha traya sakshi san. Already introduced, so it's not a new word for us. Panchakosha vilakshanaha. So the word sakshi is already introduced there, and which means I am the witness. They say this conscience. I know what I'm doing, I'm not doing. I know what I do is right or what I'm doing is not right. Other people may not know, but I for sure know what I cannot escape from myself. Correct? I'm the ultimate judge of what I do. That's why they say what you do when others are not watching. If you're clear about that, if you control that, if you master that, then they've made it. They've made it. Like that they used to say. And why? Because Aham Sakshi is there. Is the Sakshi. So that Sakshi uh, is shining. Paramatma Vilasati. Sakshi Vilasati. Sakshi. That Atma is Sakshi. That which is observing everything, so to say, so to speak. That which is aware of everything. That awareness, Sakshi. So Atma gets the name Sakshi. Look at this. Atma gets the name Sakshi in the presence of that which can be observed, in the presence of that which presence of Sakshyam. When Sakshyam is there, then there is Sakshi. Sakshi. In marriage, they say Agni Sakshi. In India, we use that word very common. Agni Sakshi. Agni Sakshi means Agni Devata Sakshi. Marriage occurred in front of the Agni Devata. Agni Sakshi. So here, Sakshi, Atma takes on a name called Sakshi. And there is a Saksham. Now, when there is nothing to observe, then what happens? Atma is Atma. It doesn't get that name Sakshi. That's all. Not a Sakshi. Means what? It is like this, like husband wife. Marthanandaji gives an example. Husband wife. Husband and wife are there. And what is interesting about these words, husband and wife, is that husband status depends on the status of another person who calls herself a wife. And wife status depends on husband status. That is why if somebody is not there, if the wife is, let's say the wife has passed away. Let's say, for the sake of discussion, wife has passed away. Then what? Then he doesn't have that much opportunity to call himself husband, correct? Because husband means wife has to be there. You can be father because children are there. I'm father, so forth. But husband means what? I was husband, he can say, maximum. Now I'm not husband. Like that, he will say. So the status of husband depends on somebody else who calls herself a wife. And so, like that, here also, you say awareness is there, consciousness is there. Yeah, I'm conscious of something. I'm conscious of everything. In fact, okay, if there is something to be conscious of, then Atma plays the role of a Sakshi. Okay, that we can keep in mind. And so, that Sakshi is a passive, the passive Sakshi is what? Passive awarer, passive knower. I can use those English words. Passive knower. Why passive? The mind is the active knower. The ahankara is the active knower. The guy who gets up and says, I did this, I did that, that person is the active knower. That person take credit for everything that is going on. And otherwise, Atma will be taking all the credit. And no, Atma does not take credit. And because it doesn't do anything really speaking. Even the being aware of the outside world is not an action. Even this Vilasati, illumining, Paramatma illuminates, even that is not an action. That is not an action. And so he's saying here, Sakshi, all those are implied by the word Sakshi. Okay. Sakshat. Sakshat is another big word. Sakshat buddhehe. What word is used here? Sakshi rupena buddhehe sakshi rupena. Yeah, exactly. So, buddhehe, of the buddhi, or of the mind. Here means mind. Entire mind, entire complex, mind complex. So buddhehe sakshi rupena vilasati means what? As the one that is the witness of the mind also. Means what? Witness of all the thoughts and all the emotions also. Okay? Yes. That means what? That means what? That means I am not my thought. The thought is an object. I am different from my thoughts also. Sakshi rupena. That's an important clue for us. That Atma is different from my thought, my mind. It's easy to say. We keep saying, I am like this, I am like that. We keep saying, identifying with the body or identifying with the mind. But here, buddhehe sakshi rupena. Atma. Atma is that which is different from the body. different from the body. The minute we say Atma is different from the body, you know what will happen to us? What will happen? It will be like this. It will be like saying this book is different from the body. Of course, the book is different from the body. It's a different object, obviously. It's there, I'm here. There's no connection between me and the book other than I open the book sometimes. The rest of the time, it is sitting right there. I'm going on over, this book is sitting right here. Book is different from the book. That is what our thinking is. Different means this is what we think. So when we say Atma is Panchakosha Vilakshanaha, as it was told in Shloka number 35, okay, or it was Avastatraya Sakshi San, as it was told in Shloka number 35, or Sakshi Buddhehe Sakshi Rupena, as it is told here. There, Vilakshanaha, no doubt, Sakshi Rupena, Atma is different from the body. But in what way it is different from the body, you have to put within brackets. Be careful. It pervades the body. It pervades the body. Body is different from the book. It doesn't pervade the book. Body is here, book is there. But when you say clay is different from the pot, this difference is very different from that different. Correct? This difference is different from that different. That different means book difference. I know very well that clay and pot are different, all right. But what kind of difference it is? It is Satyam Mithya difference. It is not two separate object difference. Clay and pot are not like two different objects that are placed in your room. Not like that. It's not like laptop and table. Clay is different. Sakshi Rupena Buddhehe Sakshi Rupena Sam. Still, it pervades the Buddhi also. It pervades the Buddhi. So he said, Aham Aham iti. Atma is there in every thought. Therefore, how can Atma be different from the mind? It is different from the mind, but still is in and through the mind also. Like the clay is in and through the pot. It is different from the pot. Pot dies, Atma, the clay does not die. But then it gives the existence to the pot. So Satyam Mithya relationship is there between Atma and Buddhi, between Atma and the body. Okay. So that we should keep in mind as we study all this. And so, Buddhehe Sakshi Rupena, this Atma, Aham iti Spurati, Vilasati, these are all words. Spurati, that word is also used. It shines. Consciousness without depending on any mana, it shines. Uh, and so, the word Atma, just by the way, if you see, it's in the Shastram, in our text, Atma also can have different meanings depending on the context, right? Depending on the context. Now, here refers to Paramatma, Sachidananda Atma, Sakshi Atma, all that it refers. But in other contexts, it can refer to the body also, or it can refer to the mind also. Uddhared Atman Atmanam, we saw that. Uddharet Atman Atmanam, Atmana Atmanam Uddharet. May you help yourself by yourself. Means what? It doesn't refer to this Paramatma, obviously. May you help yourself by yourself means what? You have to make an effort and use your mind and decide where you need help and seek help. To do what? To help yourself. Great. An advice Krishna is giving. So he's not giving, he's all saying nothing. It's not magical. You have to go through this process. Go through the process. Even to ask for help at the right time, it's a big blessing. And what kind of help I need, sometimes not clear also. Get the clarity, how much is involved in all this. Atmanatmanam, natmanam avasadayet, atmaiva ह्यात्मनो बंधुः, atmaiva rikuratmanaha. You are your own friend, you are your own enemy. Nothing to do with Paramatma. So here also, here Atma means of course Paramatma. And then he uses some other words to describe this Atma. He is saying Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha. Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha. When Swami Paramatmananda introduces this shloka, he says, in fact, he says, this, every shloka in this Vivekachoodamani is brilliant, but this one is even more brilliant that he introduces because it has words which can characterize Atma. Swami often talks about this. 5 capsules of Atma. Atma is neither a part nor a product or a property of the body. Look at this. Atma is neither a part nor a product nor a property of the body. I hope you followed that. That is the first capsule of Atma. Atma is neither a part. It's not a part of the body. If I say it is a part, then you have to look for the part. No, you can't look for it. It's not a part. It is all pervading the body. So where is the question of being a part? It's not a part, nor it's a product of the body. Like the hair is a product of the body. Nails are all growing, product of the body. Neither is it a product of the body, nor it's a property of the body. Property, it can be a property. Like tall, fat, bigness is a property, color is a property of the body. Okay. Feelings are there. All these are going on. Yeah.
So he got into some audio Ashuddham and talking about Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha. By the way, right? We have to go back. The train has to get back. So, so this is a very commonly occurring phrase in Vedanta Shastra. Shuddham, Shuddham, Buddham, like that, these words constantly come. Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha means what? Swabhavaha, of the nature of pure. And now the question is, what is Bodha? Bodha. Bodha. So in English, in Tamil, Bodha means something very different. We'll let go of that. Bodha means this drink is called Bodha. Bodha. But here in Sanskrit, Bodha has two main meanings. First meaning is Jnanam, knowledge. Knowledge is called Bodha. Shankaracharya wrote a text called Atma Bodha. Atma Bodha. How many of you have heard of the text Atma Bodha? Yeah, many of you have heard it. Means what? The knowledge of Atma. They translate it as self-knowledge. Okay, self-knowledge. That's what it. Bodha means knowledge. But here, Bodha means that word Jnanam also refers to consciousness. That subtle entity which we are all after. That is called Bodha here. And so the word Bodha can mean both knowledge and consciousness. Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha, of the nature of pure consciousness. Okay. See, pure. Whenever, see, the word pure, when we use in our common, in our daily life, pure means what? Something is impure and you have to purify it. Okay, you have to purify it. In fact, everything is impure only. And you have to purify it. By the time it comes home, it's all purified to a big extent, to a point where you can consume them. That is the purity. Pure, impure. Including foods, These days, I mean, we've come a long way in the last so many decades. These days, ingredients also. You look for ingredients. What is it there? What is there? Because you want the best for your children. You want the best for yourself also. Ingredients. And so you ate some cookie. You ate some cookie or some biscuit you ate, and then you found it to be very good. Then you look at the ingredients. You look at the ingredients. What do you find? Refined wheat flour, within brackets, maida. Then next comma, sugar, comma. Okay, like this, hydrogenated oil, comma, palm oil, comma, okay, butter, comma. Like this, the list is going on and on. Means what? This is, I thought I could buy this, but now after say baking soda, don't forget baking soda, leavening agent. They have all these nice words, leavening agent or leavening agent. It means baking soda. It is that which makes it crisp, crisp. And like this, it is like that. So that means what? This is our idea of purity. Our idea of purity is always there is something impure that has to be made pure, pure, impure. And nothing can ever be 100% pure, not possible. Even the bottled water, you get pure water, is also has some minerals, but they say below so many ppm. That is why purity is always measured as this parts per million. That's how they give the standards, government standards, or parts per million. Below so many parts per million must be all this arsenic and other chemicals. Every chemical is already there in the water. Zinc, arsenic should not be there, but should not be there cannot be a requirement. Below so many parts per million. That's what they will say. Why? Because nothing can be made pure. It is not possible. Not possible, may not be needed also. It's too expensive to purify. Purification is an expensive process in many cases, most of the cases. So after some point, you just call it off. They say it is pure water. And so that here Shankara is saying, Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha means don't give up the idea of that kind of purity, impurity. It is 100% pure, which you won't find. No object is 100% pure. And that every object will also get more and more impure with time. That's why constantly we have to take a bath. Constantly we have to clean up. Get up in the morning. One of the things is you get up in the morning immediately, especially in India, all windows are all open and things will get dusty. You have to constantly dust the place. Constant work it is. And that's why you have somebody coming to do all these things. So that purification process is to be done. Here he is saying, Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha. It is of the nature of pure consciousness. Pure consciousness. You can't imagine it. You can't imagine it. Really, you can't imagine it. You have to understand it as Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha. You can't imagine because anything you imagine is going to be impure. And so, Atma is never pure. Anatma is never pure. Atma is always pure. Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha. He's telling that. He's indicating by that word. And so then purification is a big thing. Purification of the mind is a very big thing. The mind has to be purified. If somebody says that is acceptable, that is acceptable. That is acceptable. Atma has to be purified. If people say, then they don't know what they're talking about. Correct? Because Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha. Atma need not be purified. Atma is not even available for you to purify. Where is the question of purifying Atma? If you say, I want to purify my mind, okay, that is fine. And purification of mind has nothing to do with eliminating the mind of thoughts. All over the world, people are after that, eliminating the mind of thoughts. And so that's why Patanjali Yoga Sutra is great. But if it is not taught properly, people will mistake it. Atha Yoga Anushasanam, first sutra. Second sutra. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. The literal translation of that is what? Yoga is defined as chitta vritti nirodha. Means the cessation of all thoughts. Chitta vritti, mano vritti nirodha. Removal of all thoughts. And that becomes a goal. If that becomes a goal of life, then life will become tough eventually. Our yoga people can attest to that. It will become tough because you're trying to constantly remove thoughts from the mind. It's not possible. It's not a practical thing. Not needed also. And so purification and all that, okay, dharma. Leading a life of dharma is purifying the mind. Okay. Leading a proper grasta life is purification of the mind. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. Earlier he talked about Chakracharya. Natu vastupalabdhaye. That chitta shuddhi is needed. Not atma shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi is needed. Why? For antakarana shuddhi. You need that to come to this atma. You have to have that antakarana shuddhi. Nacha vastupalabdhaye. Like that he said before. So that idea we have to keep in mind that purification atma is pure. That's it. You understand that it is pure. Okay. And so, having said that, Shuddha Bodha Swabhavaha, there are many more words are there. Jagradadishu avasthasu. Atma shines. Where does it shine? When does it shine if you ask? He said, don't ask those questions. Jagrad avasthayam. Swapna avasthayam. Okay. Sushupti avasthayam api. It is there constantly shining. Whether you know it or not, it is shining. Whether you are aware of it or not, it is shining. Okay. Aham aham iti sakshat sakshi rupena buddhehe. And sad asad idam ashesham bhasayan nirvishesha. These are other technical words. Sat asat idam ashesham bhasayan. Bhasayan means illuminating that atma. While illuminating what? We haven't said what it is illuminating. We only said where, Jagrad Avasthasu, etc. But what is it illuminating? Sat, Asat, Idam, Ashesham. Sat, a technical word here, Vedanta. Okay, another word we encountered. Okay, where Sat here does not mean this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Satyam or Satyam Mithya Satyam. No, Sat and Asat means what? the Murtam. Sat means write down Murtam. That which has a form. Asat is Amurtam. Things that do not have a form. That is the meaning of Sat and Asat. Both are Mithya. Like this, Sat means what? Prithvi. In terms of Vedantic language, Prithvi, Apaha, Agnihi. All these have form. You can see it. They can be perceived. Solids can be perceived. Liquids can be perceived. Perceived means what? Tangible. They are available for your perception. What is available for your perception, sense perception, is called Sat. Murtam ityartaha. Murtam. What does Swamiji say? Meaning he gives. Let's see. He says, Teja Adi Murtam. Teja Adi. Means Agni Adi. Agni Apaha Prithvi. That is what he says. Murtam, he gives the meaning. Then what is Asat? Asat is Vayu and Akasha. Vayu is not perceptible to you. Okay, you can say I can feel the wind, but it comes under the category of Amurtam because not perceptible, not visible. In English, if you want the words, tangible and intangible. Tangible. Tangible. I went to the online and looked up the dictionary for the word tangible. For the first time in my life, I'm doing all these things. Tangible. We use the words tangible, but I actually looked up what does dictionary say for tangible. It says perceivable. Pratyaksham. It says what you can see is tangible. That's what the English dictionary says. But here, roughly, you can say Murtam means what is tangible, Sat, Murtam. Amurtam, formless, intangible. Even the thoughts, intangible. Thoughts. One's thoughts are one's own personal feelings. Feelings, emotions are all personal. It is intangible. You can't see my thoughts. Comes under the category of Amurtam, Asat. Here, Asat. Sad Asat. Okay, in Taittiriya Upanishad also these words are there. Satya tyaksha bhavat niruktancha niruktancha nilayanancha nilayanancha satyancha nritancha satyam abhavat, like that. So there sat cha tyat cha bhavat, like that. Sat and tyat. Tyat, T-Y-A-T, tyat there. Referring to asat here. Sat, asat. Okay, that is just by the way. And so he's saying here, sad asad adi idam ashesham bhasayan. Idam ashesham adi sat asat etc. Means there are other things also. Panchabhutas are there, and Panchikrita Panchabhutam, Stula Panchabhutam is there, gross, and then subtle Panchabhutam is there. Everything you include. Sad, Asad, Adi. Ashesham, Idam, Ashesham. Means what? Without any exception, the entire universe. Idam means Jagat. This Jagat, which is composed of Sat and Asat, Adi, etc., that entire universe, Ashesham, Samastam. Swamiji says Samastam, Bhasayan, Bhasayan means shining. Bhas is to illuminate. While shining, it is what? It is shining means it is doing the act of shining. Whenever there is an action, what happens? That entity that is acting has to undergo change, because action implies change. If I have to act, I have to spend energy. That means before acting, I had this much energy. Now after acting, what will happen? My energy level should go down. Acting took time. So I have aged so many hours, so many minutes, so many seconds I've aged. So change is constantly happening. Action implies change. Vikaraha. But here, this illumination is not an action. Not an action. It is illuminating. Sannidhi matrena. Just by its own presence, it's illuminating. Thank God there is something called consciousness in this universe. Otherwise, everything is subject to change. Shad vikaravat, everything is. Everything is subject to born and then ultimately dying. But this one is nirvisheshaha, because it is nirgunam. Nirvishesha means nirgunam. No attributes. It doesn't undergo change, and it illumines without undergoing change. Don't go away thinking like sun also illumines, all right. During our lifetime, the sun seems to be the same. But the sun also has a limited quantity of hydrogen. Whatever scientists say, hydrogen, helium, constantly that's happening. Combustion is happening. So at some point, ho jayega, Surya also. But then here, because Atma Nirvisheshaha, such a change cannot happen. Even though Atma shines. In other words, Atma shines completely, fully, all the time, with no end to that kind of shining. Okay. I hope I completed explaining everything in this. Okay. Sada Sada Adi, I said. There is no Adi here in this note. Sada Sad Idam Ashesham only it says. Okay. In another reading, there is an Adi. Oh, Jagrada Adi. Okay. Fine. Let's translate the shloka. The Paramatma shines directly The Paramatma shines directly as, within quotes, I. I, comma, I. Aham, ahamiti. The Paramatma shines directly as I, comma, I in all the three states of experience. In all the three states of experience, like waking, etc. Comma, as the witness of the mind. Comma, illumining without exception. Illumining without exception all this. All this, okay. um, the tangible and the intangible, or within brackets you can say elements and elementals. Elements and elementals. Okay, those, that phrase is within hyphen, right? All this and then hyphen, tangible and intangible, or elements and elementals, hyphen, with forms and the formless, with forms and the formless, so I did not explain one word, right? One phrase. I'll do it next class. So I lost everybody there for a minute there, it looks like, huh? All right. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So with forms and the
Guruji,
formless, that's where, tell me.
Guruji, it relates to Atma is not part, product, or we missed that part also.
Okay, I'll come back to that later. Let me finish the translation first. Did we get
Okay.
forms and the formless? You got that. Okay, forms and the formless. I'm going to continue from there. Comma, itself remaining changeless. Itself remaining changeless. All right. So let's go through this once. Okay. The Paramatma shines directly as I, in all the three states of experience, like waking, etc., as the witness of the mind, illumining without exception all this hyphen tangible and intangible slash elements and elementals hyphen with forms and the formless comma itself remaining changeless. We got that, okay? All right. So I'll come Premaji, I'll come back to that in the satsang time. We'll conclude the class now. It's already 10 minutes past, okay? And there is one more word I have to explain which I have not explained, correct? And Prakriti Vikriti Bhinnaha. That's an important part. We'll discuss it next class. And tomorrow we're going to have Swamini Brahma Prajnananda ji's talk at 6:30. Okay, don't forget that. All right. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.